Welcome to the Wisconsin High School State Curling Championships from the Wausau Curling Club. We are in our second day and our last round of Red Robins with the 4 girls teams pools and boys team pools, and our coverage. This time right now we'll feature the rivalry, Wausau West and Wausau East. It'll be East in yellow, West in with the Red Rocks. And after 2 ends, West has a 3-1 lead. They scored 3 in the first end, and East countered with a measured rock that they got the favor on the measure for their lone point. So it is 3-1 in end 3. We'll take a look at the rosters. They are on sheet number 6. And the rosters, first of all, for West, Jim Wendling, their coach. Their lead is Cole Kresanuski. Second is Ruben Matthias. Third is Chris Kirsch. And Wes Wendling, Jim's son, is their skip. For Wausau East, Kate Fulker, the head coach. And their lead is Ben Bloom. Evan Nygum is their second, Andy Geiger third, and their skip is Will Reike. And that foursome, and I think there are 3 returning, ended up the surprise of last year's state tournament, coming in with a loss in the championship game. And these 2 teams now in the same pool, coming in, West with a 2-0 unbeaten record. East 1-1. Stevens Point also in this pool 1-1, and Partyville at 0-2. So this game now ends the set pools schedule. From there they go to semifinals and the finals coming up later today. So we pick up action in end 3, and again East in the yellow, West in the red. So as we look at it right now, there is 1 count for red. They happen to be in the 12 circle, 12-foot circle. And we're setting up for the shot by the skip Wendling. Wes Wendling all set to release. Down on the other end, Chris Kirsch right now is the acting skip. And you're taking a look at the house. Some guards out in front for West, which is a good thing for them. And they're trying to draw, and they do a nice job of that. So they did a raise. Looking at a draw became a raise, and they got a 1 in the 4-foot. So now it's 2 count for West. And we're down to the last 2, the skips in this N3. There you take a nice look from overhead. They've got the 2 red guards out in front. East in the back of the house. Really not any kind of a problem for West right now. They can do whatever they need to do. West also has the hammer here because he scored a goal in N2. So the hammer belongs to West. And they already have 2 in the house. So in essence, East, 2 shots to see what they can do about it. This might be the last one. I'm trying to figure that out. If West has the hammer and Wendling already tossed, this would be it for East. Well, they're going to take 1 away. So now, as we look at it, the 1 red is closest to the button in the middle. So there's 1 count for West here in N3. But they have the hammer, so they have 1 more toss coming up. Actually, Ruben Matthias, the second for West, is watching from the other end right now. We have 8 sheets of ice, a beautiful facility, one of the best in actually in North America. Something for the Wausau area to be very proud of, and a dream come true coming here from Marathon Park, where the curling rink area happened to be before. This state championship is the culmination of the season for these teams. There are 16 teams for the girls, 16 for the boys, and this is a seeded tournament by different pools. And here comes the next toss. We're looking at things. I have to pick up on where we are in terms of first the lead, second, third, and skip. Red happens to go to the back. They're still in the house, but they still have one count. The bleacher ends right here are pretty much filled up. Lots of parents, friends, siblings in attendance here on an early Saturday morning. Nice, comfortable room temps. 40 degrees on the ice, pretty much. As we move along here, we'll check on who's doing what. I don't think I was correct on the first shots, because I see a couple of stones in their zone yet. So we'll catch up on that as we go along. Here we got the sweeps working hard for East. They're trying to, well, they tried for a takeout on the red, missed that, but they have another one in the house in the 12-foot. Two and 8 for East. Now the skip. This is Kirsch, who is the third for West. And Wendling coming down. So he will have his, I think, last shot right now. As he is the skip, and they have the hammer. So yes, we were very close on that. We had the skips tossing one before, actually. They were in action. But this is it. End of N3 coming up. And it's coming in. I'm going to try and kill one of the East rocks, and they don't, so they'll clear it off with one more for West. So after 3, West has a 4-1 lead over East in their last game of their round robin in their pool. Not sure what it means a lot, but it's CC pool. Last year, as I mentioned, West didn't get into the final. East did. It's sort of an underdog, a surprise, but that happens in curling because it's that type of game. Pretty much anything can happen, and people can be on, off. It's not a time game. There's no time limit in between. Each team has a team timeout during their contest and a coach timeout. Now the coach timeout has to be between ends. The team, the players, can call one anytime during their contest. Well, we're set for end number 4 now coming up. So now we can set things up a little better. This is Cole Krasnowski for West. And this is the first rock. East now has the hammer back, so the West lead is first, and he puts it in the house. Usually the lead talent has to be guards and a strong sweeper. Well, he doesn't have a guard. He's got one in the house, so he put a draw in there. And this is Ben Bloom, the lead for East, directing the stone, and it's not paying much attention to him, but that's part of curling. Animation. And they basically, because the skip for West, Wendling, can do what he's doing there. Right now, there's one in the house on the first rock for West. So the roster for West, the lead is Cole Krasnowski. Their second is Ruben Matthias. Their third is Chris Kirsch. And their skip is Wes Wendling. And for East, their lead is Ben Bloom. The second is Evan Nygam. Their third is Andy Geiger, and their skip is Will Reike. And this is the second shot now for Cole Krasnowski. West with the red rocks, and he puts it in the house in the 8-foot circle. So 2 count. Very, very early in the end, though, so it really doesn't mean that much yet. Ben Bloom with his second toss. Sweepers Andy Geiger and Evan Nygam. It looks like it has plenty of weight, and that's why the sweepers are going along with it, and one of them takes a look at the skip for some help. It has weight. Now what it does with this red rock, if they try to take out, it didn't have enough to do it. So that one really didn't pan out that well. So now we go to the seconds. Ruben Matthias. For West. His team up 4-1 here after 3 ends. This is an 8-end competition at the high school level. And the sweepers are busy. Kirsch and Krasnowski. This one is heavy, and it's going to do more than they expected, I think. That puts 3 in there for West. So now East, Evan Nygam, the skip is trying to, I don't know if he's going to try to do a double takeout. But there's no question what Evan wants to do with this. He and the skip are on the same page with it. One, they have to have plenty of weight on this rock. One looks at the skip, one's down looking at the rock. They're going to let it go. It's plenty heavy. And it is going to knock 1 out of there. So instead of 3 counts now, West has just 1. Okay, Wendling setting the stage for Matthias. He's their second. This one is heavy as well. And they're just going to do a takeout. And a little more than that, actually. Pretty much cleared the house. Still 2 count for West. Now the skip setting strategy for East to counter. The house looks different than it did just 1 rock ago. Nygam with his second rock. Busy. There are 4 girls games going on and 4 boys here. All 8 sheets in business, and that was a nice takeout by Nygam. So now West is 1. They were 3 count there inside, but it's early again in the end. We're still in the first half. This is the third now, Kirsch. With the release and the concentration. Again, the hammer belongs to East. There looks like there's plenty of weight on this. Headed for the yellow, see what it does. Clears it out. Well done. Now back to Andy Geiger. He had the same top. You can call it a cap, hat, whatever. His signature is lucky cap, probably, last year. And he wants to take out and does it. So now it looks like East may have the count. It's very, very close. And the last end, they actually had to take out the measuring stick to determine that 1 point. Well, actually it was the end of 2 where they had to do that. But this whole game right now has changed from the beginning till now. And we've got a timeout on sheet 7. And they are right in front of us here. This is Kirsch again for West. Again, plenty of weight. I haven't seen any draws here. And that's a takeout. So now, other than a 1 in the 12-foot circle, 1 count for West. So with the hammer, East in much better shape than they were just a few rocks ago. Andy Geiger, his second. This has been a takeout game. Pretty much. They watch it coming down. Too much heavy. Too strong. So it's pretty much open. One little red one over there in the 12-foot concentric circle. And Wes Wendling is set as Kirsch takes over the skip duties, sometimes called the vice skip. That third. The third has other responsibilities, measurements if they're called for, and also he's supposed to put, or she is supposed to put the score up on the scoreboard. This one doesn't have quite the zip. Some of them have, but it's certainly going to reach the house, and their goal is to just put a draw in there somewhere. And Wendling, who is their skip, does a nice job. Not only does he have another one in the house, but they are separated. Good distance apart. So Will Reike, first of two, coming up. As he heads down, talks to his teammate. And he's chooses to take off a glove for his. He's on the left side of the hack, so right-handed. We've only seen one left-handed curler so far in this tournament. His goal is to take out, and he's going to have plenty of weight. And he does exactly what he needs to do. And they have the hammer. So now Wendling has one left, and Reike has one more delivery in this end. Four. We picked this up. Actually, we picked this up at the end of end three. In end one, West had 3 counts. Took a nice 3-0 lead. West came back with, or East came back with 1 in the second, and then West countered with a lone tally in the third. In the fourth here now, the advantage East, depending upon what Wendling and Reike end up doing. This is probably another takeout. And part of the reason that house is empty is that's what they're playing right now, is takeouts, and they're very successful, both of them. The difference right now is that West has 2 in the house. However, for East, Will Reike has some options here. One would be a takeout. That would give them a count. That's all they're going to get. They're not going to get any more than 1. West's max here could be 2. Reike, the skip, is supposed to be good at everything. Strategy, shots, you name it. That's why they're called the skip. There's the release. It might be a little light. That's why they're sweeping hard. Certainly going to get across the hog line here. Yeah, it'll be in. Let's see what it does. If it hits it hard enough, it does. And East comes out with 1 count in end 4. So now after 4, West leads 4-2. And West gets the hammer back. And that's the West foursome rink, what they call the Wendling rink, the skip's name. And East is called for a timeout. Trying to get their coach to join them, I guess. They're still trying to get somebody over for the timeout. Oh, you have to have a sense of humor when you play this game, too, because there are people all around you here. You're not out there alone. All 8 sheets are busy. Here comes Jim Wendling, the West coach. And his team, he will probably take, yeah, that's Jim will pull them away so the 2 teams are separated. And the East, there comes Katie with a smile on her face. I think, again, they were surprised, especially the East coach. Well, Jim, too, Wendling, the West coach. They were surprised they were going to call a timeout because what had just happened, we're after end 4, and it's a 4-2 contest, so anybody's game right now with the place where I'm sitting here observing this. We look at the monitor to see what's happening. The bleachers are in front of me, and there are folks all around me because there's glass all the way along this end, and folks will be sitting watching right as close as they can be to the team that they're cheering for or invested in many cases. Curling is not the most expensive sport. If you're talking about the economy aspect of it or the cost aspect of it, it isn't. And the nice thing about curling is anyone can curl. You know, they have wheelchair disability teams, competition, ages from young to, you know, whatever. A lot of curling is done with colleagues, husbands, wives, that kind of thing, significant others, teams, co-ed teams. In this case, it's a high school competition. A lot of these have tried out for the nationals. Some make it in different years. And that's a prestigious thing that they have to try out for and earn their right to be a part of. Now we're set for Ben Bloom as we are in end 5 at the moment. First rock. Right down the line, T-line. Now it curls a little bit. And in the house. Okay, so that's a draw. That's a draw. We'll see if East counters with a guard on the next one for Ben. Now, Cole Krasanoski with his first toss. We're in the second half with 8 ends, second half of the contest. West up 4-2. Cole Krasanoski. And the release. And they're coming at you on the monitor. First time we've seen heavy sweeping. The ice seems to be pretty fast. And that can be a factor, and they have to learn that as they go along. This is a takeout. Okay, successful. Because now they have the count. Not totally successful, but partially because they have the count in. Second shot for Ben Bloom, part of a runner-up state champion last year, along with his rink mates. Andy Geiger now picks it up in earnest. They want to get it in the house and they don't. So that one didn't quite go far enough. They had two choices, a takeout or they put something in the house on a draw, and they're guarding somebody else's rock. In this case, West. Cole Krasanoski. Release at the hog line on that end. And again, plenty of weight, it appears. A little bit of sweeping, but not heavy. Now they're going to let up. The skip helps them with that determination. They're going to get it in the house. So now, we're still early, but West has a couple in. Okay, we go to Evan Nygam with the skip, Will Reike. Setting up the strategy with the broom. Evan Nygam with the release. Heavy sweep this time. All right. That's not what they wanted to do at all. He took out a team rock. That, I think they're having a little trouble with the weight. The ice might be fast. And it really can make a difference because you're only talking about 12 feet. One end of the house to the other. And from that distance, this is Ruben Matthias, the second for West. Krasnowski and Kirsch on the broom sweeping pretty hard. Well, across the hog line and in play here. They may be setting up a guard for one of those back rocks. Actually, they want a nice draw out of it. They got it. West is up 4-2, and this is a key juncture right now, this fifth end. You know, 2 is a deficit you can handle, come back from. If you get beyond that and you get closer to the 8th end, it becomes a real challenge. We haven't seen many handshakes on mathematical eliminations here in this tournament. Very few. Most games have been very close. There's a takeout. Nice little takeout for Nygam. So now East has the count. Change that quickly. So Matthias with his second coming up. Muddling with the pretty obvious strategy. They need enough weight to do it. Apparently have it. The sweep can be for distance. It can be for curl. Perfect. Take out. So now the house has changed. And we go to the third, Andy Geiger with his first toss for East. Lots of weight. And a takeout. And now West still has the 2 count though. East up, they're playing uphill in this one to try to stay close. They're down 4-2. And they got themselves in a little bit of early trouble. Not being true with a couple of shots. Chris Kirsch. K as in cherry. Kirsch. A lot of weight. And a takeout, and yeah, it's going to bite. Oh, I don't know. It's so close. A bite means it's just there, and it may be. That's debatable. Okay, back to Geiger. You can see the threesome out of the 4 rink for West. And this is Andy Geiger with his trademark cap. And plenty of weight. Take out. Now they have the count. So it's back and forth, a takeout game. Sometimes you'll have guards out in front to protect. And then you look at ports or places to get through. It's called a port. Here, there's none of that. It's just like take out, take out, take out. And they've been, for the most part, very good. This is Chris Kirsch. You can see the concentration Chris has. Plenty of weight again. And let's see what they do this time. Well, they actually, as that sweep pulls it out of there, they've got 2 bites and a sure count in that 8 foot. The white circle. Back and forth, takeout, takeout, takeouts. Each end can take on a different view in terms of how would you describe it. And this one is takeouts. I don't know if they've even had a guard. They started with some draws in the house. And then it became a takeout contest, and both teams have done well. This is the skip for East with his first shot, Will Reike. He's their skip, I think, probably for the 3rd year. Second for sure. And this one is going to put East in the count. Doesn't matter where the others are. If that one is closer to the button, it's the number of rocks closest to the button. And in this case, they have the closest one. West has the next 3, but that doesn't mean anything in count. It's the closest 2. So they have one closest to the button, the middle of the concentric circle, and West, however, has the hammers, so they're going to have the last shot. And the way this game is setting up, it's going to be a 1 point one way or the other, unless something more interesting happens. One lung with his release. Well, he's going to do the takeout thing, and if he's successful, they're going to be maybe up 4, which would put it pretty much out of reach. Well, if he can keep it in there, but no, it slides out. So they still have the 3. Now, East is trying to again force him to do a takeout. However, they've got to do something, number 1, to get the count in there, but with a little bit of protection, because right now they're in danger of losing 3 points. See what Will Reike does. They apparently know what the strategy is. They've made that decision. Again, Will's the skip. He's the one that they want having the last shot for their team. Well, it's going to make the house no problem. Well, maybe they're on the wrong side. No? Well, okay. What that does, and that's not a bad shot, that takes away the 2 red ones as far as count. Right now, even though they have red ones on this in the house, the yellow one's closest to the button, so they're going to try and take that one out, and they'd go back up to 3. So well, Chris Kirsch has it set up. As you can see, every rock down has been strong or strong enough or too strong. In this case, it gave East a point. So there you go. That was a switch. Instead of West getting 2 or even 3, they get the point because the rock ended up on the wrong side for the angle for the takeout, or, you know, push in. So, one more for East. And we're closer now than ever in this one, as West enjoys a 4-3 lead at the end of 5, getting ready for end number 6. But that last shot was a gift for Wausau East. No doubt about it. You could see what they wanted to do. Instead of just putting one on a draw in the house, West wanted to take out and leave their rock in the house, take out the East rock, and get back to 3 in there, but didn't work. So here we start very quickly, end number 6. And West again has the hammer because East got the point. Be it 1, they feel good about it. They have to. And here's the draw on the first one for Bloom. Now Cole Krasnowski. Krasnowski now gets his instruction from the skip, Wes Wendling. He's got the broom down for the spot. With his hands, he signaled the strategy involved with it. Cole giving his teammates a little instruction on the sweep. This again has plenty of weight. It's going to take out the rock from Bloom. Looks like they're going to start out with another takeout contest. Last one, they didn't have any guards out in front at all, and they're not starting out with that strategy here in this end. Will Reike. Here comes Ben Bloom's rock. Well, for a change, they're working hard on the brooms. Geiger and Nigam. And there's a nice draw. So instead of the takeout, West. Now let's see what they will counter with. Oh, West. Wendland changing his strategy a little bit here. Again, no guards yet in front of the house. You can see the bleachers behind pretty much filled up. Beautiful facility, cafeteria with a fireplace and couches and a little feed, one of the local schools. And they did the takeout. Now the West has the 2 in the house. And Reike just wants him to take care of one of them. This is Nigam. Nigam with the concentration, little advice on the sweep. Right after the release on the delivery across the hog line, they are close enough to kind of get an idea of how it felt when they released, on the weight part. This is going to be in the button, and I think the count. Nice shot. I think that's an East count right there on that one. Not by much. If they can't agree at eye level, there is a tool they use for measurement, and that sometimes can cause surprises. Heavy, nice. Take out of their own, but they got the count back. So they accomplished at least one of two of their goals on that rock. Back to East. Again, West has the hammer here. And in the last game, it didn't mean anything for them. They didn't take advantage of it. Nygam second toss. Plenty of weight. And the takeout. And now East has the count. So there's back and forth. This happens, they can all do a takeout pretty much. When you don't have any guards, it makes it an open shot. You don't have to put as much curl on. You can do more of put some more weight on it so it doesn't curl and change direction as much. Matthias with the rock, plenty of weight. It's going to slide all the way through the house, however. Yep, first one we've seen in this end. Heavy, but it missed its target, so then it goes to the house. And we go back to East. Reike. Andy Geiger. Let's see what Andy's strategy is in the release here. Sometimes you can tell just watching the player release how happy they are or satisfied with their, because they can tell in many situations. This one is going to come in inside in the 8-foot circle. So now there are 2 counts in the house for East. So now Wes Wendling the skip. And Chris Kirsch with the rock. And delivery. Heavy. Takes out 2. Well, actually cleaned the house except for that one little red one out in the 12-foot circle. And pretty obvious what he wants. Reike. Here's Geiger's toss. One rock in the house, and we're on the thirds. And now we don't have any. And very rarely would you have what they call a blank, where there aren't any rocks at all in the house, so neither team scores. That's rare. Mostly because, somebody's got the hammer, they've got the last shot, and if there's nothing in there. But sometimes it can happen like that, where they did a takeout and they had it a little strong, and so they took themselves out as well. But they just put a draw in there, the last toss. For West now. Second shot for Kirsch. And that's going to hang on. No, it's out of the house. There's still nothing in there. And we go to the skips. Interesting. As Will Reike slides back the other end. Andy Geiger takes over skip duties, the vice skip. And we're getting ready to go here. A draw. And so he's really setting up the target. As you can see, it's right in the middle, beyond the button. So it's just a matter of the right weight, direction, and put it as close to the button as you can. You never know what's going to happen, especially in this end, because it's been a struggle for both teams. And this one may go through as well. Yep, no. Got a little help. So there is one count there. A little help from the red rock, which was still on that line. So still in play. If it goes beyond, then they can the skip and make a decision to just slide it off. Or the skip can sweep once it's past the tee line, cross tee line, to get it out, help it out, the other team's rock. This is Wendling now. The clapping is for rink 7, where I think they're getting in a, they've got all kinds of rocks in the house. Here we don't have any. Well, the one now is just exchanging places. So now it's a red count. They have the hammer. This is a close one. We're in 6 out of 8 total. And it's a 1-rock, 4-3 lead for Wausau West. And this is the last in the round robin of the foursome in their pool. The winner moves on. It's a double elimination tournament. The winner moves on into the semifinals. Championship bracket. Released by Reike. Plenty of weight. His goal is just to trade places. And now they've got 2 in there. But they are right next to each other, so it's up to Wendling to take care of that part of it. Now they can do one of 2 things. They can go after those 2, or they can put one up closer to the button and eliminate them that way. All set. Oh, he's going to put the broom right in the button. That's your challenge. That's your target. Basically, don't worry about those 2 on the perimeter. Yes, they count if there's nothing closer. Wes Wendling. His father, Jim, is the West coach and also in charge of this entire tournament here, and does a fantastic job. Well respected. Well, they're going to try and do the other, and that is to put it in there And that's their choice. That's it. So, one, doing it the safe way, basically, one count in N6 for Wausau West, so they now lead 5-3, and it's still a good contest. As we go to end number 7 out of a total of 8. So West Wendling had a couple of choices there, and they had a bigger target to go for. That when you do a draw, there is no target. It's speed. It's speed more than anything else. And when you can do a takeout, if you get the speed, the target is set up for you. Now we start N7. And Cole Krasnowski, the lead for West, eats now with a hammer because West scored in N6. Two point lead, 5-3. And they're doing the sweeping, which means they want a draw. But they're going to end up with a draw out in front. Maybe this will be a different end than the last few that we've seen. Maybe we'll get the house full of rocks instead of the one exchange kind of thing. Let's see what Ben Bloom does. He's got a little bit more weight, but they're working hard on the brooms. Number one, you got to get in play across that hog line. He's got too heavy though. Wow, look at the pickup speed here. And you can see Wendling after the tee line across, in other words to the back of the house, the back house, he can sweep to get it out of there. And he helped, he didn't need to, but he did. So now we're back to Krasnowski. His second rock. Let's see if they set up a draw in the house, because they already have a guard there if he does it right. Be interesting. Well, a little excitement right around me here in one of the other sheets. One of the moms got excited. And they did what they really wanted to do. That was a nice rock for Krasnowski. He's got the guard out in front. He's in the house in a good spot. So it puts the pressure now on Wausau East here early in this end. And this is Ben Bloom's second shot. First one went heavy right through the house. This one's picking up speed. And it's going to go right through the house. So I don't know if the sheets are getting faster or just miscalculation on the release. Now we go to Matthias, the second for West. Ruben checking with his teammates with a little smile. Very social game. These kids, these rinks become buddies on and off the ice. And that helps them become better curlers as a team. And it is the ultimate team sport, really. Well, he's going to set up another guard. So now they've got a twin guard. And East, let's see what Evan Nygam does as Reiki sets up the strategy. This becomes a little more difficult with those guards out in front. Plenty of weight. Okay. Now they took the twin guard out, but it's out in front quite a distance where they've left that guard, you know, with the red behind them. So it's 1 count. It's 1 count so far in the house. And Matthias with his second toss. He's looking for a draw. And it's going to work out just fine. In that terms, although, you know, there could be a double takeout on this, but not an easy one. East with the hammer, Reiki with the strategy, Nygam with a release. And right through the house. East is struggling right now. I think this is the first time in this entire match where they've thrown through the house without any doubt. I mean, once it gets across the hog line, it's gone. And they keep doing that, they're in deep trouble. We're in N7, 1 more to go. Down a couple. Kirsch, his first toss. And they've got 3 now in the count. And that one is got 2 of his teammates in front of him. That's like they've got their own guards. That's a tough trio of rocks for East to handle. They're I think we can say they're in trouble. They've got to have some really nice shots. This is Geiger. Again, a lot of speed and hit its own rock. They're struggling. They just skirted their own rock out in front. The only thing there is they got their rock out of there as a guard so that they can go after those 3 in the house. Now, is that part of their strategy? I don't know. Kirsch, release. There it is. Concentration. Heavy sweep. They're trying to set up a guard, I think, out in front of the house for those rocks. Well, there is a little port there between the red and yellow out in front, but that's a nice guard. Here's Geiger's toss. They need something good to happen. Plenty of weight again. And, well, there you go. They now have the count, so perfect shot. Couldn't ask Geiger to do any more than that. Change the complexion of this end completely. Part of it is because they've got their yellow stone right attached to the red. So if West goes after that yellow, they probably affect their own. And as we get closer to the end, more strategy involved. Kirsch and Wendland talking it over. Trying to come to some agreement here. East has the hammer, and they have the count now. It's an interesting setup out there, and that's why it's taking so long, because there's so many variables on the angle, the speed of the rock, if that's what they're after. You know, they always have the option here of putting a draw inside, closer to the button. Let's see what Wes Wendling decides. His older brother, graduated last year, was the skip for their boys team. Well, decision made. We're into the skips tossing now, so we're getting down to the end of end 7. Plenty of weight. They're just walking along. See what happens. In the house, and now they have the 1. Okay. So it's back and forth. West has 1 count. Reiki will have the hammer. This will be his first toss. He's talking it over with his rink mates. Interesting situation. You can go anywhere for West up to 3-4 points here. East probably a couple option. Depending upon what happens with this rock. And Will Reiche's visualizing it as he heads to the hack to release. Well, he gets himself set, comfortable. Again, you can see the folks behind him, behind the glass in the bleachers. There's the release. East has had trouble with weight in this end. I don't know if they've swept at all. They've had about 3 rocks go through the house without touching anything. Now they do a little bit of the sweep. And they may, well, okay. 1 rock left for West. 1 rock left for East. East with the hammer, or the last shot. West with a count right now, but it's 1. West already up 5-3, and this is the second to last end. So it's getting down to the finish line. Again, there's no time limit when these curlers discuss, there's nobody with a stopwatch and saying, okay, we're going to blow a whistle and you have to toss at any given time. But it's a gentleman's and a ladies' sport, so they think about their competition, and the sportsmanship, the social aspect of it is, I think, almost second to none in terms of competitive sports. Curling's very much like shuffleboard and also the game of bowls, and that is very popular in the summertime on grass in the UK, Scotland in particular. And Curling itself had its beginnings back in the 1600s in Scotland. And then it went through Canada first and then to the States. So a lot of the rules that they use in the United States in curling came out of the Canadian Federation of Curling. This is Wes Wendland, last toss for him. They would love to get 2 or 3 here and put this out of reach, and that's what it would do. And he's got plenty of weight, so something's going to happen. Okay, nice shot. Look at that, 4. Wow. Well, here we go. West has 4 in the house. If they keep those 4, it's over. Okay. If East's Will Reike is able to put one in the middle, closer to the button, he eliminates all those 4, and West gives up 4, and East gets 1. So that's how important this shot is for Will Reike. He knows it. His teammates know it. You can see the West kids pretty confident right now. But I'm sure Will is too. He knows what he has to do. You know, if they get 2 or more, this is pretty much over. So here we go. Move on or shake hands right now. Will Reike. Well, they're gonna, I think it has weight. It's got to get through there, but it's got to hit something. Well, maybe. Well, they got 1. East got 1. Wow. Look at that. Okay, we've got a contest. We go to end 8 here as Will Reike somehow managed to get 1 rock inside of 4. He's coming back, I think, looking up in the bleachers for a second there because they avoided catastrophe. And of course, Wes and Will know each other well, competing and practicing together over the years. So 5-4, West still leads, and they have the hammer coming into end 8. This has been an interesting match and a rivalry too, East-West. Well, here we go. End 8. 1 rock by Will Reike kept this game close and competitive. That's how important it was. And he did it by about 4 inches. There's a draw. For Ben Bloom. Wendling now. After thinking maybe this was over, no, we're going to keep on going. Setting it up for Cole Krasnowski, the lead for Wausau West. And there you can see the rocks. They put, one set yellow on one side of the hack and the other on the other, the red on the other side, and grab them as they go to the hack. This is just a takeout. Big factor here in N7. Not only does West have a 1-shot lead, they have the hammer. East used the hammer in the last one big time. This is the second shot for Ben Bloom. Well, they're busy getting a rock out in front as a draw. I'm not sure they wanted that, but that's what they have. Cole Krasanoski lining it up. Checking out his path. They're having fun. It's fun competition. Not that his skip on the other end can hear him, but you'll get a sense of what they're trying to do. And he's going to go through the house. East did that in the last end, and they got away with it somehow. They still got a point, even though they struggled the whole game end with weight. Speed. Combo. This is Evan Nygam, his first rock. Well, this has been a competitive one. West had 3 rocks in the first end, and they've got 2 since. And East has 4 since, but West still leads 5-4. East got one at a time. There's a nice draw. For Nygam. Ruben Matthias now counters with his red rock. And a counter. Take out. Successful. If East wins this, I'm not sure what happens, because then there would be both 2-1 in their foursome, in their pool. They may have to do some kind of a, where they throw the rocks and then, you know, they each get 4 and then total up the distances, and there are different situations that could happen here. The other factor, I don't know if in curling if they have, you know, between the two, whoever won gets to move on, like they would in some sports. Well, take out by Nygam. We go back to Matthias. Right now, East has the rock in there for count. Release. One of the rare heavy sweeps on this competition. And it's for that reason right there, takeout. So now we're back in a takeout game, which is more like N6 was. They ended up with one in the house most of the way through. Geiger's first rock for East, another takeout. Well, counter back to East. Back and forth. Well, it's a 1-point game. West has the hammer. So the sooner, or I should say, the longer we go here in tosses, the advantage builds for Wausau West. And this is Kirsch for the Warriors. His teammates watch, and we got another takeout. Okay. Now, if this keeps up, advantage West, because they have the 1-goal lead and they have the hammer, which is really worth another goal, another rock. When you look at strategy, sometimes they decide not to take a point at an end because they want the hammer. And if they, give up 1 point to get the hammer, it can be worth more than that. And we saw that in the last end when East countered 4 rocks. Okay, now West has the count. West has the rock. This is the last one for Kirsch. There is a yellow one that he's pointing to out in front. So that's part of the strategy that Wendling is counting on here. You might want to take that guard out that's out in front. And we'll see. Well, there you go. Now you can see what that does. They've got West with the count, and that's the winner right there. If they count 1, they win. They're up by 1, 6-5-4. East now with Will Reike, who saved their skin with the 1 shot at the end of end 7, has another challenge ahead of them. But as a skip, they know that's coming. That's part of the responsibility. They're supposed to be pretty good at everything and experienced. Probably enjoy the pressure. Nice discussion between Geiger and Reike there. The 2 guys, Kirsch and Wendling behind them, also discussing things. Again, no time limit. Take as long as they need. Okay, here we go. He's got his grip in one hand, telling his teammates what the plan is. And Andy Geiger sets the strategy, the broom. Looks like they want to go through the port into the house with a draw. Let's see. They want to put the pressure on West. If they can get this, oh boy, that's close. Well, Red still has it. West still has the count, just by inches. But they do. Now Reike has 1 more rock, and so Wendling has a couple here. And he can really put the pressure on by putting a rock in the house off from where the others are. Separate them. So East doesn't have one target or 1 option. Wendling sets himself comfortably in the hack. And there's the release. Now this is his first rock, so he's got the hammer coming up next. Plenty of weight. Well, that was a takeout. So for East, they got to get something inside and a draw, and maybe use one of the red rocks as a guard, which they can, of course. So Reiki knows what he has to do again. And this is it. If he doesn't get a count here, this is over. With West having the hammer, this could be the last rock of this competition. Well, they got to have enough weight. I don't think they expected. Well, it's going to get in there. They got to get in. Well, he went through the port. That's a pretty nice shot. Pretty nice shot. Now, if Wendland takes that out and stays put, West wins. If he misses it, goes through the house, or comes up short or goes beyond, East sends it to overtime. That's the situation we have here. Now, Reiki did it on the last end, on the last shot. Let's see what Wendland can do. Wendling knows what he has to do. Pretty simple. Strategy is take out. There's a little of his own team red rock guard there in front, so that makes it more difficult, but here we go. End of it or overtime right here. Plenty of speed. Oh, he hits his own rock, and oh, West wins it anyway. Oh, did you see that? What a finish. Wendling got lucky. He had enough speed, enough weight to end up in the button inside the East rock. What a way to win, what a way to lose. You can see the astonishment on the part of some of the East rink. I mean, really now. And for West, it was like, whew, a sigh of relief. But West wins it, the final, 6-4 over Wausau East. West moves on to the semifinals in the championship bracket. For Wausau East, they have now been eliminated from this state championship here at the Wausau Curling Club. I'm George Hirsch. Hope you enjoyed our broadcast there. What I think was one of the more interesting high school encounters. Even West is shaking their head. They know. They are aware of what happened as they win 6-4 on a rock that didn't do what it was planning to do, but gave them the victory 6-4 as they move on in a win over their rival Wausau East. Till next time, take care.